Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. So if you're planning a trip to Chicago, or maybe you're interested in going there in the near future for a weekend or a quick getaway, then you clicked on the right video, because I'm gonna show you the top things you have to do when you get there. So whether you're going with your boo, your crew, or your family, Chicago is a great place to visit. It's filled with good food and a lot of things to do, and I can't wait to show you. So let's get started. I would suggest you guys to stay in downtown Chicago, which is called like the Chicago Loop, I think. That way you can save money on Ubers and Lyfts, because you can pretty much just walk to all the touristy spots. Okay, so the first place I recommend, I'm sure you guys have seen it or heard about it. It is called the Cloud Gate Sculpture, also known as the Bean. This was such a cool experience because everybody was just around taking pictures and trying to see themselves in the reflection. It also looks so weird, but so cool underneath. I love that it also captured a view of the buildings in the back, so that's definitely going to pop up in your pics. The sculpture is located in Millennium Park, which is also hosting a blues festival that weekend. So here's another quick tip. Google special events happening in Chicago the days you plan on visiting, because there's usually always something going on, especially during the weekends, and a lot of times it's for free. Moving on to some place that really inspired me when I was in Chicago, and that was the Chicago Cultural Center. They have this really special Keith Haring exhibit taking place until September. We got to see some of his iconic pieces, and they were so good up close. And then they also had this wall that is filled with all these messages from people that had come to see his exhibit. A lot of them were encouraging messages, so I decided to write something and leave it up on the wall too. And this center also had other exhibits that are definitely worth checking out. I would check the website and see if there's anything there that interests you, and if you're into the art galleries and if you need some inspiration, I definitely suggest going to the Cultural Center, and it's also free. Up next of must things you guys gotta do, especially if you're with your family, and that is visit the Navy Pier. This is also good for like a day date and just to chill by the water. They have drinks, they have food, and they also have this huge Ferris wheel and a few carnival rides. But my favorite thing about this place was this beautiful greenhouse they had, and everything inside is just so Instagrammable. Like if you want to take some good pictures, then you want to go inside to this greenhouse because it just looked so amazing. You can also book boat rides and sightseeing at the pier if you want to explore Chicago a little bit more. Fast forward into later on the day, after all the walking we did, the only way to end the night right was to get some deep dish pizza. This is a Chicago must. You cannot visit the city without trying it. If you've been following my channel for a while, then you know I'm always preaching about eating healthy and staying away from gluten and definitely no cheese. But it's a cheat day. Sometimes you just gotta let yourself have fun, and this pizza was so good. I have no regrets. We went to get it at this restaurant called La Briola. So if you want some deep dish pizza, I definitely suggest you going here because they make it really good. Afterwards, we were beyond stuffed, like it was serious. We decided that we just need to walk it out, and it was the perfect time to take an evening stroll just to see more of Chicago, especially at night. You guys should definitely do this after eating your deep dish. The next day, we got to see even more of Chicago at Skydeck.
We're taking the stairs.
No, we're not. This experience was so wild. So they take you up to the 103rd floor. All of our ears were popping the whole time in the elevator. But once you finally get to stand on that glass balcony, the experience is really like no other. You literally get to see all of downtown Chicago. It's so cool, and everybody's trying to take the perfect picture for the gram. And let me just tell you, it's not as easy as it looks, because sometimes the shadows are just not working in your favor. But it's definitely one of the best things that we did on our trip. Just make sure you get there early, because the lines can be a little brutal, especially on the weekends. The last thing we did, and it's something I recommend you guys check out too, and that is a show at the Chicago Theater. This is actually the reason why we came to Chicago in the first place, was to see the comedy duo Desus and Mero.
Chi-Town Bodega have in the house? Hey.
Even though they do live in New York too and have shows in the city all the time, we thought it would be fun to make a trip out of their comedy show and head to Chicago to see them there. Plus, I wanted to check out what their Chicago fan base was like, and it turns out their hive is present in Chicago. One last thing before you guys leave and click out, I wanted to show you this cool Chicago checklist I spotted at Skydeck with more suggestions on what to do when you guys visit the city. We didn't get a chance to do a lot of the stuff on the list because we only came for 2 days, but if you guys want to do more things and you have a little bit more time, then definitely screenshot this and check some of these places out because this was definitely helpful. Alright guys, well that is it for today's video. I really hope I gave you some good suggestions on what to do when you come to Chicago. Such a great city and I cannot wait to go back. I fell in love with it. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful, if you enjoyed it. If you have any other comments, questions, leave it in the bottom bar. Also, if you're not subscribed to my channel, make sure you subscribe and I will see you in my next one.